right. Well, hey, good morning. This is Jay Hughes with Press On, and I'm excited to have as my guest this morning Chellsee Gould of Eagle Home Mortgage in the Portland, Oregon area. Chellsee moved from Escalon, California to Portland when she was about 19 years old. And Chellsee, you were visiting with me and telling me that at that time, the economy, it was in the tank, and you were having a really tough time trying to find a job as a professional. But Chellsee persevered, and she did find a job working for a cold calling center. And you said it was really similar to the work environment portrayed in that movie called The Boiler Room, which is great, and I love that movie, and I get it. I get the culture that you were involved with there. So, but Chellsee said she was the only woman at her company. But she worked really hard, and she was observing what the top performers at that company were doing, and she was working to emulate what she could, and she never gave up. It was this initial position as a cold caller that helped shape Chellsee into the top performing loan officer that she is today. Chellsee was originally contacted by Eagle and became a loan officer assistant for about 6 months, and then converted to a full loan officer, and has been originating and never looked back since. I think a full 5.5, 6 years of originating since then. So Chellsee, just want to say thank you again for being my guest this morning. I'm really looking forward to catching up with you a bit.
Well, thanks. Hi, Jay.
Hey. All right. Well, hey, I wanted to start by just talking a little bit, kind of introducing our audience to you in this way of you chatting about this recent transition that you've gone through. You were previously working as an in-house loan officer at a dedicated real estate office, but in the last few months, you've been focusing on reaching new agents, new real estate offices, and you're not spending as much time in that dedicated office anymore. So let me ask you, how's that transition? How's it been going for you? And I think importantly, why did you decide to make that change?
Well, the reason that I made that change, well, first, I love my job, and it really does give me a sense of purpose. And I think that if we just did this job for the money, we would get burnt out pretty quick. So, I got to a point when I was in that office that I was no longer enjoying my job. I wasn't excited to get out of bed and help. I was just feeling really drained and almost underappreciated. So I needed to make a change, and it really was affecting every aspect of my life. Everything really needs to be aligned, and I was finding that the thing that was different was my work environment, and something needed to change. And I also had all my eggs in one basket. And it kind of, it worried me. Like, if I want longevity in this business, I definitely can't put all my eggs in one basket. And I was kind of at that point. So I just decided that I wanted to cut back and go kind of basically start over from the beginning.
And that's kind of where you and I met, was right at that, kind of that point in your business where we talked about stripping it down to the core, and it's one of the main reasons why we're on the phone today. We had a call a few weeks ago and started talking about some of the new agents and offices that you've had been approaching and working with and establishing new relationships with, and you began to share with me some really, really key insights into why that has been successful for you. And so I know you'll remember back to kind of that story that you shared with me. There was one particular real estate office. You said you went in there, you didn't know them very well, maybe not at all, and you were just trying to get your foot in the door. And I wanted you to share with the folks that are listening today, what happened? Like, what tactics did you use to try to break into that office? Because that's super common in our industry with loan officers. It's like, there tends to be a lot of fear about going into a new office. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? Who am I going to be? So share with us what happened for you.
Well, I actually was working with a borrower. It started out I was working with a borrower, and she had her own agent. And I am all about calling the agent that is either new with that I haven't worked with, that a borrower brought in, or on the sell side, because it just makes that initial conversation easier. And I had been trying to set an appointment with this agent just to meet up, and she had been busy, and I was just trying to get the hook in and tell her, about different programs, and I will meet you wherever, and I'll take 5 minutes. And she said, "Why don't you come to my Monday meeting? I talked to my principal broker and come on in."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "This is great. This is a great opportunity." So I came in, and one thing I've learned is from now is that I need to listen. And that's what I try to do. The first meeting is listen to their needs, listen to who they are and what they're about, how are they trying to grow, and then how can I help them grow. So when I talked to the principal broker after the meeting, and was telling him that maybe I can try to come in once a month and meet up and talk to your agents about how they like to receive their leads, or how they like to be communicated with daily, weekly, about the leads that they do send over. And he took a big step back because he's been in the business for a while, and
Sure.
he had his preferred lender, and he really wanted to be really transparent with me
He's been pitched before, right?
about.
He's been pitched before.
Oh yeah,
Right.
oh yeah. This definitely wasn't his first rodeo. So, just talking with him, I told him, I'd be really worried if you didn't have a preferred lender at this point in your career, anyways. And I'm not coming in to steal business from your agents, or, steal business from you, but to better you and to bring in business and help grow the company with you. I'm not here to take from what you've already built.
Mm-hmm.
So that
What was his response?
I think he thought it was great. He right away was, you're right, with the way that we're looking to grow, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have more than one lender with different options.
Yeah, and
to offer. So
yeah, no, I think that's right. And the reason I, like just sitting here right now, I know folks can't see me, but like this is a story that really fires me up because it sounds really simple, but I'm just going to repeat a couple things that you shared, Chelsea, because I want to make sure that everybody gets it. If Chelsea comes in and it's just a straight pitch, and let me talk about me, and let me talk about all my programs and all the things that are awesome about the company that I work for and the great service that I deliver, and how this guy isn't going to give you the time of day. He's heard
no.
that pitch before. He's heard that 100 times. Instead, the contrast is you come in with the message of, look, I'm here to help. I don't want to take any business away that's already being dispersed to other lenders that you work with. I don't want that business, but perhaps I can come in and help and educate and help your real estate agents generate new business. And if they do that, boy, I'd love to have a piece of that. And that's just, I mean, it's such a compelling message, and one that obviously you said like his response is really good.
Yeah, and I think the key part of it is that I mean it, and it's not a sales tactic, and that I truly am here to add value to them and their business. When I go to that first meeting, I don't say a whole lot. I don't talk about myself unless they ask me a question. I really don't pitch any programs unless we're talking specifically about something. I might bring something up if that's where the conversation goes. But really, it's about me getting to know them and what their needs are, what their pain points are currently, and where they want to go, and then and then I think about how can I get them there.
Yeah, well, okay, so a couple things here. One, I want to point out that you mentioned it's so hard to fake that you're actually caring. And so what you said there's like for you, like you actually do care. You mean it. And this is one of those distinctions that's so hard to explain to people, which is one of the great, it's why, doing this call today is helpful, giving people a different viewpoint on this. You're coming in, it's not a sales tactic. However, because you come in and you're genuine and authentic and because you actually care, it works because it's not some canned pitch that he's heard before. You're implementing things that have been known for a long, long, long time. All the business books that have been written in the last 50 years, listen first, listen first. And you're doing that, but you care when you do it. And then you're listening, you're taking that information and then providing value. It's no wonder that, that he was interested. And I'll share too, I don't know if, maybe you can piggyback on top of this, Chellsee, but I know you forwarded me an email, maybe it was a few days or so after that initial meeting, and his response to you blew me away. I know it was short and simple, but it was essentially like, I want to do business with you. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. He basically said, he's excited. He plans on growing the business, basically tripling it by the end of the year. And, since our initial meeting, he's added 3 or 4 new agents that I got to meet. So he is excited. And, saying it in meaning, maybe it will help, is if you're helping somebody grow their business, it's ultimately going to help you.
Yeah.
If you give, it goes full circle and it will come back.
That's the Go Giver book. I think we talked about that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I want to hit at least a couple more questions before I know you need to go. But one of the questions was this: like in your pursuit of new real estate agents like this gentleman, talk to us about maybe 1 or 2 disciplines that you've really tried to hold to and be consistent with, this last, couple months, let's say. So maybe any habits that you're working on to help kind of grow your business, grow your production numbers. What are some of the new habits that you're working on?
Well, first, it's really easy to be lazy and it's really hard to sacrifice. And follow up is, for some reason, was like the thorn in my side. And I don't like scripts, and I don't like having something that I'm just going to read off of a sheet of paper because it seems fake.
You're not you're not being you.
Yeah,
you're not being you.
Yeah. So to me, it was always harder. I kind of set myself up because I felt like, oh, well, I don't have anything to talk about. But when you build those relationships and you're just being yourself and you're being genuine, it's a lot easier to make that call. I mean, half the time when I call on a Monday, I'm asking them how their weekend was. What can I do? Is there anything that I can do to help? Or just talking to them on a personal level of how they are. Mm-hmm. How are you doing? How is your family? Remembering the things that they tell you about themselves and checking in. But follow-up has been very helpful, and making those calls and continuing to reach out and be consistent, because it's really easy to get sidetracked and not be consistent. But, sales is not reinventing the wheel. It's sticking to the basics, and it's just making it become a habit.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing, I love that. I would say for me, one of the cornerstones of my business in the past, my business today, and what I'm coaching and consulting with people like you is follow-up. I think it's the biggest area, the biggest weakness of most loan officers, and you're nailing it. The average LO goes out, doesn't listen, doesn't actually care. They're scared and nervous, and that comes off in the pitch. And then they go back to their office and wait for the phone to ring and wonder, well, what? It's been a week. How come this guy hasn't, I haven't received any loans from this, I must be a failure. And it's like, it's just going about it completely the wrong way. The goal isn't go in, meet with this guy, and sit around and wait for loans to come in. Got to follow up, because you're able to demonstrate through your follow-up who you are, that you do actually care. You're showing that office how you work. great loan officers, if they're great with their follow-up, that means they're probably paying attention to detail in the transactions and helping these agents get them closed. So I love that, and yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. So let's hit a couple other things. One question for you here is, I know you go out and you market every day against other originators,
Mm-hmm.
other top producers just like you. All of you guys, you want to be successful. For you, what do you think is the number one mistake that loan officers make when they're trying to build relationships with agents or other referral partners, but they fail? And it may be this could be something you've already touched on, but what do you think is the number one mistake that LOs make when they're out building relationships?
Well, I definitely feel it's the follow-up. And exactly like you said, I'd meet with an agent like once and then send them an email, and I'd call and get really discouraged because where's my deals? And why aren't you sending me anything? Or, I was expecting something right away, an instant. And it is very defeating because that's how I saw it. And then really when we first started, I'm sure you probably remember, but I was like, I'm really unmotivated to do this. And like, I can't get over this hump. Yeah, the follow-up piece, and then just meeting, and then just, it was like, and I kept saying this is exhausting for me because I was looking at it the wrong way. I was looking at it that I had to be so on and at my first meeting, and that, my follow-up, my couple times following up, it had to be just so great and fast so I could get those deals in, but that's not really how it works. And it's basically, it's the start of a relationship. It's a quote unquote business partner, and you have to build that relationship, and it's not going to be instant. And I feel like one of the biggest pain points, I think, for us as originators is we want instant gratification. We're commission only, so we need these deals and we need them yesterday. Yeah. We need them to close. And so we're all about, as quick and fast as we can get things going. But really, it's putting in the time and building that foundation with those realtors, and trusting the process. I feel it's the biggest part for me, was just trust the process, keep doing the right things, and it will come. And it has.
So good. I mean, it's gold. I know, John Battistane with Eagle, who's actually he's retiring here in a few weeks, I believe. But I know, like, that message you just said right there, I mean, that's gold for him. That's exactly dead on. And one thing for those that you might be thinking, that's me. Like, I do go in and I don't follow up. I'm waiting. I want that instant gratification of a deal coming, but I don't get it. One quick thought, and Chellsee, I believe I probably shared this with you. If not, you can hear it now. I think the best goal for an originator is not, am I going to get a loan tomorrow or a phone call in a couple days? The best goal, the best way to measure is when I walk out of a meeting with this real estate agent or other professional referral partner, does that person want to hear from me again? Because if they want to hear from me again, I've done my job. I've listened. I've shown that I care. Like you have shared, Chellsee, maybe I've got into their personal life a little bit, but I'm building that relationship. If they want to hear from me again, that's a home run. And now I can come back and work to kind of build on that. Some relationships, I know, Chellsee, you've had where you walk into that office like you did a few weeks ago, and a week and a half later, it's moving. But some relationships do take time, and top producers, they are committed to the process, and it's doing the right things over and over and over again, and that's how top producers get to the top. There's no secrets. There's no magic bullet. It's the right habits. And boy, follow-up's a huge piece of that. All right. Well, I know we're gonna wrap up here really quick. Before we go, is there anything else maybe I didn't touch on today or ask you that you wanted to make sure and share?
Well, I think, actually, something that's really helped me in life and in being a loan officer is to train your brain to see the positive in everything. Deals fall through, things fail, but if you start seeing the silver lining or the lessons that are learned and build off of that, I see so many loan officers doing the same things that aren't working over and over again. And I do it as well. But figuring out to come at a problem a different way, or if you do have a complaint, to work on the solution and not just the complaint, or attack something different. But really, it's sticking to the basics, and although they seem really easy, they can be really hard. But just going out and being yourself and meeting people and being authentic and truthful and genuine, it's a lot easier to ask for somebody's business when it is more of a personal relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so well said. And when you do that, it gives you the ability to choose who you want to partner with. Like you can be you, and you are investing in the people that you want to. And if it's not a good fit, man, there's tons of business out there. But you can be real and authentic, and you're doing such a great job, Chellsee. I'm excited for you, proud of you. You have really, really, man, you've done a ton in the last 90 days in your business, and I really appreciate you being a part of the call today and sharing this with other people I know that will really appreciate it. So thanks for being on today. With that, we'll go ahead and close. Thank you guys for being a part of today's call. And again, we appreciate Chellsee being on. We'll have this posted on a couple different social media channels. And so if you'd like to communicate with me or even communicate with Chellsee, you'll be able to do that on Facebook and LinkedIn. Again, thanks for being with us today. And again, this is Jay Hughes with Press On, helping you close more transactions in less time.